Claire and Matt find each other or are found by each other at a time in their lives where they probably don't realize that they need each other more than they realize that they do, and I think they're very similar souls. I think they become very important to each other in ways that they could never have anticipated, and the emotions that flow within their dynamic are very confused and very conflicted. I think it's a very interesting dynamic and also sexy at times.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very confronting, you know, these two people, you know, who have a lot of the same values, you know, wanting to help people and who feel a compulsion to do what they can when they can. But you know, that's what makes Daredevil so fascinating. You know, with that whole tagline, you know, justice is blind. You know, and do you turn a blind eye to certain things, including how far heroes push it to achieve justice? You know, I think they confront each other quite a lot on what they think and what they're doing and how they're doing it, and because they see each other and they're sharing, you know, this secret together. So, you know, in the very beginning, they're the only ones who are really able to communicate what is actually happening. You know, like the mask actually that is coming off, you know, from that he wears during the day, and the mask that then goes on that is really fully representative of who he is. Like, she gets to see that, and he trusts her, but they don't trust each other. They don't know each other yet, and so I think that they're at each other, and they're confronted by each other, and they're moved by each other, and it's all happening in very real time. You know, the exact idea of there's nothing to anticipate because they don't have the time to do it. It's very present, just kind of very reactive, and I think some really remarkable things. You know, you get to know a lot about a person's character under that kind of pressure, and they're lucky. I think they recognize that they're lucky that they found each other, especially during this moment in each other's journey.
The physical aspect of filmmaking is one of my favorite parts, and I you know, I relish the opportunity to throw myself in the deep end and do as much of it as I'm allowed to do and capable of doing. With this show, that ended up being quite a lot because obviously there's very little CGI. All of the stunt work is in-camera action, so it's stuff that a human being can do. The stunt coordinator, Phil Silvera, and my stunt double, Chris Brewster, were an amazing pair. And what they came up with and some of the stuff they were doing was so brilliant that I was not capable of doing it. You know, I learned the sequences in small pieces, 6 to 10 moves at a time, and shot all of the action sequences in small sections so that I could get them all done. And I don't know how much they ended up using of me, but I imagine I'm in there a fair amount, and I loved every minute of it. I really enjoy that stuff.
I would say that's always for me, like you know, when I've gotten to, you know, today your work is you got to dance. Today you're doing this fight, which is also a dance. You know, you're like, you kind of pinch yourself. You're like, really? Because I love, you know, there's beautiful moments that are explored in conversation throughout, you know, for these characters, and they're going through quite a lot. So there's a lot that's there, and so the dramatic part of it and the humor and the relationships, all of that feels very real and developed and awesome. But to also have that physical part of it is just really great. You know, you're really tussling with your character and getting in there, and it makes it, you know, when you're feeling a little achy, like all of those experiences you bring back then to the next day and kind of go, so if this really happened, you know, and I think that's incredibly grounding. You know, you're working with folks who can do, it's not like, you know, going to be taken off someplace and someone's going to do a bunch of CGI and make it look really cool, and you're going to look at it later and go, okay, how can I formulate that to work into the character I created? It's like, no, you're watching someone fight and get tired and like do all these different things, and it's like Cirque du Soleil stuff. Like, you get that, you're amazed by what people can do. Yeah. Like what a human body, and like when you are dedicated and you're trained and you're focused, what you're capable of doing, and that awe that you're getting on a regular basis watching this take happen over and over again is what keeps you back into that story. And if that translates at all to the viewer in the way that it's been translating to us, it's going to be an exceptional experience for people, and not like something you get to see every day. And that's what makes this really special event television, which is cool. Claire's really fun to play. You know, she's got attitude, and she's got a very strong particular personality. She's funny, she's very clear about what it is she's doing in her world and how she helps. And I think she's very confronted by this person who challenges her perception of what it means to help and how to help, and the risks that you take, and how far you can really take what you're capable of doing to really graduate to another level. And I think she's brought into a world where she realizes she maybe could do more. And so she's as much as she might want to say no, and this is really scary and really risky, she knows that she can help. She knows that he needs her, and that's her calling. So I think she feels an automatic sympathy with someone that normally she might have a different experience of, but being in it, in the thick of it, really challenges that, and that to me is really fun. It's not about just going in, I'm going to play someone, she's strong, she's never scared, or she's always has the right thing to say or do. No, she's scared, she's nervous, she's taking a big risk, but she's bold. She's present, she's available, and she's going to participate. She's going to get in there, and that's what makes her really interesting to me, is that she's courageous. Not that she's brave, that she's not scared, or that she's just super strong. I think she's quite fallible. What I like about her is that she's still courageous in the face of that, and that's what you can only hope to play. And I think for male or female, you want to have characters like that have that kind of level of complexity to them.